What's going on?
Just enjoying the outside by the pool here. We got a nice.
You got to be riding high there right now, brother.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I just want to get this done with, and go enjoy everything with friends and family, and I'm just ready to lock this placing down. I mean, I said I'd be happy with the top 10. I know I'm in the top 10, so it's just it's just bringing this one to just to land the plane, get it done with.
You are moving up every year. I mean, you are looking at like a 6, 7, 8 spot today.
Yeah, I agree.
If everything stays according to plan.
Yep.
Where was your last Olympia placing?
14. So I'm half.
You're double.
7 places better. So
you're double as good.
From 14th to 7th. Yeah.
How does that feel, man? How does it feel? I know, bodybuilding is very incremental. So how does it feel, breaking into that top 10?
I mean, obviously it feels incredible. I mean, it's especially after this year with like Tampa kind of going how it did, and then New York having so much kind of controversy around it. To come here and like really show a version of Iain that I'm very, very proud of, and that I think everyone, the fans and people really want to see and knew I was capable of. And, and that's why like when shows like New York and, I'd be like, well, I still won, but people were disappointed because I think they knew I was capable of physique like I brought yesterday.
Yeah.
So, even though it like hurts sometimes when you hear those kind of the critiques, at the end of the day, I knew they drove me harder into this Olympia. And I mean, it's all silver linings, right? And I couldn't be happier with how, in my opinion, how I showed up yesterday is as good as my physique can be where it is now.
Right now,
I don't think I could have been any better yesterday at all.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple things. So from the outside looking in, I don't think the people from Tampa and from New York knew you could be better, and I think that's why this is even better for you. I mean, some of them obviously did, but I think some were just detractors that were like, oh, he's blah, blah, blah. He's this, he's that. And I think if I was you, that's why this would feel even better. Cause you're like, hey, I told you guys I could be better. And now this is me and Paul were just talking about it. We just went to train and I was like, this is, I think the best I've ever seen you. And I don't think you, like you said, I don't think there's anything you could do to look any better at this like exact moment in time. You're like big.
I mean, my conditioning.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think my conditioning was arguably some of the best up there. I think my fullness was pretty much as good as it could have been for me without sacrificing a little bit of that sharpness.
Yeah.
I think I could be a little sharper in a couple spots, through my abs. I think I could have been a little sharper and, through my lower back. But I mean, overall, I'm extremely happy with how things came. And, like for me, especially like really maintaining that chest fullness and stuff like that is something that I really struggle to. So to, see some of the shots like the side chest and stuff like that, where I really had a good level of fullness through there was, really exciting for me to see. So, to kind of put that all together, and especially some shots like that have been notoriously weak for me, like my back double being, a pretty respectable shot this weekend, was something that really felt good because it's something I really, really worked hard on. So to see it all come together was obviously, excellent. But how it is, like, once I got in that call out and then I was obviously happy. And then I see a key moved into that first group. I'm like, shit, now I gotta get my time with the key. Now I want that top 6, So it's like never enough. But I mean, at the end of the day, when this show ends, and I'm very confident I'm in the top 8. I'll be happier than a fucking pig and shit,
Yeah. And you should be.
So,
I don't think, like I said, the combination of fullness, and I do think, I really didn't think anybody else was more conditioned than you in the show. Like I
agree. Yeah.
I was trying to think of everybody. I mean, Lucas Osladil always looks pretty good, but even him, he wasn't really himself. And it wasn't just a matter of like, oh, these people's glutes are shredded and these guys aren't. It was almost like you had this paper thin skin look.
Yeah.
That
really like dry, like look. Yeah.
Yeah. That I hadn't seen on you in a long time. Like it's been a while since I've seen you have that before.
And especially with this amount of muscle, like I've definitely had excellent condition in my career. I mean, that's something that kind of built my name around in my early days, my amateur leading into the beginning of my pro career. But, I was 255 pounds with that conditioning yesterday,
Yeah.
So
that's incredible, man.
For me to carry that kind of muscle. I mean, like the last time I was in this probably comparable condition was probably Tampa Pro last year, where I came third, I was in excellent condition, but I was 243 pounds. So, you know,
that's a big jump.
12-pound difference, you know, with better fullness and arguably better condition as well. So, I mean, it's, you know, I'm winning on all fronts compared to that. Right.
I got to be honest with you. And you might take this as an insult, which I apologize, but I didn't know you were that big. Like I didn't realize, I saw the clip you put up with James and Paul and saying like, I didn't know he was structurally that big, you know, staying next to Akeem, like blah, 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 you know? Yeah.
Saw that. Yeah. I knew the structural size I knew was there, but when I have a little bit of flatness, I lose a lot of appearance of thickness, you know, like I know it's there because I see it in the gym and I see it with the pump and I see it on the days when I'm, you know, full and looking good, you know, with a little more carbs in me. But to string it all together with that kind of like stage dryness conditioning, you know, it's obviously different to look in a gym. Like that doesn't always translate to the stage.
Yeah.
But, you know, I knew that muscle was there and I just really had to put it all together to make it shine properly, you know?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. When you walked out, I was like, hey, that's Iain. And I think the first shot you hit was a front lat spread, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, holy fuck, he looks huge. Like you looked big. And then I'm like, okay, he looks great. And then you could see the conditioning came through and then you see the fullness came through. I'm like, this is the best Iain we've seen this year. And then they put you in the lineup and I'm like, you're standing next to Akeem. And I'm like, he's not giving up any size. Like Akeem has like some thicker muscularity, like through the chest and his legs maybe are a little more so, but like structurally, I couldn't believe
from the side, he's got some good thickness and stuff.
Yeah. But just standing next to each other, I couldn't believe like how you were almost a little bit wider. And I was like, holy fuck. So it's a little deceiving. Like your size is like, when you're standing alone versus standing next to somebody else, it shows a lot more. So,
well,
I mean, it's something you should be really, and you put on 12 pounds between last year and this year.
I mean, I think so. I mean, like, you know, obviously Tampa last year was at the end of the season. So you could maybe say, but I mean, so was this one. So, you know, like I've been dieting since second week of January for this, you know, cause I started initially prepping for, Puerto Rico at 16 weeks out. So that bring you into January because that show was at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
Then that got pushed. So then I kept dieting for that to Tampa. And then it's like, you know, so I've been going almost 50 weeks straight now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So, I mean, to hold that level of muscularity right through the year, I was very happy with. So, I mean, it's arguably, 12 pounds or more than last year for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's absolutely insane, man. That's a great year. So me and you have a bet.
And this show too, I mean,
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. This show too, what?
I was going to say, and same thing for this show too. Like I kept my water in right through. Like I drank as if it was a normal day yesterday. You know, we didn't cut the salt, anything like that. Like that was full. I could have drank 10 liters of water yesterday. I have no idea, but I just drank like it was any other normal day.
Serious?
You know? Completely normal. Yeah.
So is that what you changed? You kind of just left the water in, left the salt on full blast?
Yeah, we lowered the salt by 30% just yesterday.
Yeah.
But like, I wasn't like measuring it to the gram before. So it was like when Melissa prepped my meals, it's like, okay, you're doing 5 cranks of salt, do 3, you know, it was just like very loose, you know, slight reduction there. My water stayed in 100%. You know, so, and my food too, we didn't do like, I think a thing for me is what we did this time versus other shows is we didn't really do like a carb up, you know, like it was kind of on Tuesday. We just started like slowly increasing the carbs a little bit, you know, like maybe 300, 400, 500 grams a day. Like I never had any like 700, 800 gram days.
Yeah.
Because really what we found after New York is when I got that much in me in a short time, my body almost went into overdrive trying to, you know, get through it. Yeah. And then I almost had a harder time holding on to weight.
Yeah.
You know, like my weight, I could barely hold 250 for New York with less conditioning than this show.
Yeah.
And I was eating way more food and kept my water and salt in. So this time we just kind of did like moderate days and just for like 4 or 5 days, kept the water in, just kind of let it build up over time. And then just, you know, small things at the end, like, you know, just a slight reduction in sodium and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I think my best prep ever, as far as like fullness of the muscle, was on that same situation where it's like, I didn't really deplete. We just increased a little bit and kind of cruised in.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Like I never got into like any state where I was like really like depleted down too hard, you know, and it kept I mean, you know, you could watch some of Chris's YouTube videos. We were training like it was the off season, right up to, you know, my last workout. Like I wasn't doing little pump workouts or anything. I mean, we were doing full on heavy duty workouts right up to the last one, you know.
Yeah.
Having a little more food in, I think helped keep that intensity and that energy up. And I think then keeping the intensity and energy up in the workout rendered a lot harder, fuller look and kept a lot more of that integrity to the muscle, you know?
Yeah. So what do you think about tonight? Are you gonna, because a lot of people are saying it's that 7 spot is a toss up between you and Hunter. Do you think you're gonna be able to redeem the Tampa Bay win? I know you don't want to say anything, but I'm just
I don't want to jinx it or anything, and you know, like wherever the chips may fall, I mean, and I don't want to say anything bad about Hunter. I think other than one or two shots, I think I took Hunter on almost every pose. You know, I think he's got me structurally in a couple shots, and I know his front double is really good, which is a weaker shot for me. But overall, I think my overall package of, you know, polish, conditioning, fullness was, I think I did edge him out on that. And I mean, I think I matched up better with Akeem, who's in the clear 6 spot better than Hunter did. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, if Hunter does beat me, I mean, I have no ill feelings about it. I mean, Hunter's an amazing bodybuilder, and I mean, he's proven that right off the get go. So it's nothing. I don't feel bad about it. I mean, sorry.
It's very close. You guys, the 3 of you, I think Akeem stands out a little bit, but we're trying to pick between you and Hunter. It's close. The one thing I can say for sure is your conditioning is better. Yeah. Like that's the one thing that I can.
But I mean, it really depends which way they go with it. But I mean, either way, I'm exceeding my expectations of what I had set out for the show. Yeah. You know, I said I would be ecstatic with the top 10. I think I'm beating, you know, some awesome guys like Dexter and stuff. So, I mean, you know, obviously this isn't a 2008 Dexter, but I mean, it's still a Dexter Jackson, you know, and I was able to push him out myself, you know, so, you know, things like that are, you know, very, very meaningful to me. So, you know, either way, I think I'm in that top 8, and that's, you know, exceeding my expectations. So I can't really complain after that and say who I think I should have beat or whatever, you know, like obviously I'm going to be biased to myself and think that I should beat him, you know, and I think I should beat Akeem too, but I mean, I completely understand every decision the judges make, and you know, it's kind of, you know, let the chips where it fall, and I'm happy no matter what, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So take off the bodybuilder hat for a minute, put on the fan hat. If you can, because we have a little bet going. Yeah. That we just put upon each other. You think Brandon is going to win?
Yes.
And I think Rami's going to win.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll admit I knew Rami was good. I was getting tanned on Thursday, and I said to Julian, my buddy here, and to Melissa, when I saw Rami getting tanned, he was fucking sharp, you know? Like I saw him there getting tanned with his back to me. His back was crisp. His glutes were tight. Like when I did the 2018 Olympia with him, he looked 30% sharper standing in shitty tanning room lights than he did backstage in good lights at the 2018 Olympia. So I knew he was going to be really, really good. You know,
but even saying that, you're going with Brandon.
I think Brandon is better than he was last year. Mm-hmm. His conditioning's better. His overall package, I think, is a little better. I think he held Phil really well in the back shots. You know, I don't think that Rami was dominant enough to dethrone him, and I don't think Phil was good enough to win it back. I see it going Brandon, Rami, Phil.
Okay, I'm just going to give you my justification. I don't see the shot that, and I like Brandon. So if Brandon watches this, please, this is just objective bodybuilding. It's not, you know, if everybody could win, I wish they would. That's all I have to say. But being a completely objective, I don't know what shots Brandon beats Rami in other than maybe a back double.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to that like silhouette, you know, like I think that silhouette of like the Phil Heath, Brandon Curry, like silhouette of that like round, nice taper, you know, I mean, not that Rami has, for a guy his size, his shape is ridiculous. I mean,
yeah, it is
insane. You know, there's no doubt about that. But I think Brandon just has a bit more of that like true bodybuilding, like round shape like that I think they really like. And I think was the champion last year. He improved this year, and I think he'll be rewarded for that.
All right. So the loser has to take a 1 ounce shot of the hottest hot sauce we could find.
Yeah.
But this isn't fair because you're already like a hot sauce guy. I'm not.
Yeah, but like you could be a hot sauce guy, but like there's like your limits, and then it's like what is uncomfortable to you is uncomfortable to everybody, you know? Like no one eats like a Carolina Reaper pepper and is like, well, that's not bad for me. Like it's no matter how many hot peppers you eat, that still fucking sucks.
We shouldn't say 1 ounce because some of those fucking sauces, if you just put a dab on your finger, it burns the shit out of your mouth.
Okay, so we'll say a 1/2 ounce. But like I'm not saying get like we don't need to like go on Amazon and order like some death sauce. I'm just saying, go to Sobeys. Go to Sobeys and find, like, get the hottest sauce you can find.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in for that bet because I think Rami's going to win. I mean, unless they keep calling Phil Mr. Saturday Night. So I don't know, but I think I don't
think Phil's midsection is still, it's better than 2018. I don't think it's good enough.
No. I don't think it's better.
It's a little better. I mean, it's in his abs and thighs, it was a little tighter, and the taper is nicer. It's not quite as like rounded. It does have a nicer shape to it. But I mean, there's a big space there. You can see there's been a lot of damage done there, and there's not much going on with the abs. So I don't think, and I also don't think his back shots that were his overly dominant shots in the past were extremely dominant compared to Rami or Brandon, to be honest.
Well, I don't feel like he had that Phil Heath crispness that he usually has. Like his hamstrings weren't completely separated and cross-striated and the whole thing that he usually has. And
thought to me that he was like really, really awesome on was the side chest. His side chest was still really good, but I think Rami's probably better.
Chest is better. Yeah.
Because Rami's side leg is just ridiculous. I mean, he's got like, the crazy like Akeem side leg, but on a guy that's 30 pounds heavier,
Okay. So
I mean, I can absolutely see your case for Rami winning, but I think Brandon's got it.
Okay. We got our bet. You take your guy. I'll take mine. We'll see what happens. Okay. Take the fan hat off.
Okay. And if Phil wins, we both have to do the shot.
Then. No, it's a wash. We don't do shit.
No, we both have to do it. We both lose. So we both have to do it.
Okay. I'll give you that. If anybody else wins, it's a wash.
Okay.
Though. Not that anybody else is going to win.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. What do you think for the rest of the top five? Will you think Hottie's fourth, Bonac fifth?
I feel like Hottie gets a little bit. You know what, man? If I had to be completely honest with you, if I was sitting at the judges' table, it would almost go Rami, Brandon, then Hottie, Bonac, and then Phil. I wasn't impressed.
Really?
Man, or maybe Phil would be ahead of Bonac.
The only thing that I think is hurting Hottie is he was significantly less than he was last year. He wasn't nearly the Hottie. He didn't have the pop and like the deep separation that, like, I remember when I did Vancouver last year, like his muscles were like popping, like his ab separation was like 2 inches deep. His quads were crazy. Like he looked a little downsized. Like he looked 5 to 8 pounds lighter to me, and didn't quite have that same like pop. I don't know if I think his color was a little on the light side too, which didn't help him.
Somebody else, James said that as well.
Yeah. So he looked a little washy, and it didn't give like a good contrast with those lights. But I think that he didn't have quite the same pop that he had in previous years.
Okay, so if we're gonna go with our original strategy, original placings, or with what we think the judges are going to go with, I'm going to go Rami, Brandon, Phil, Hottie, Bonac.
Okay, and I'm going to go Brandon, Rami, Phil, Hottie, Bonac.
Okay, so we just got the one position we had to switch.
One swap, yeah.
Yeah, the one swap. Okay, that's fair. Okay, take off the fan hat, put on the coaching hat. I need to know how you put so much size on Chris without getting his weight to increase. The guy,
I mean, he wasn't really any heavier.
Ian, I got to tell you, man, the guy, he was on my podcast and he says to me, I'm going to be bigger, blah, blah, blah. And everybody says that. And you're like, okay, maybe he
was a lot bigger.
Man, I watched the prejudging this morning. I'm like, he's thicker everywhere. Like his legs are bigger. His back is bigger. Everything.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of that's going to come down to the training. I mean, he had a really good full season of training. He got a really good partner this year that really pushed him hard. But I think a lot of it was just, he wasn't fighting his body. I mean, like last year, even with a minor flare up in his autoimmune, you really, really, really have to push him, because when there's so much edema and fluid, you can't tell what is body fat and what's water. So you really just got to diet the piss out of it and hope that when you flush that water out, that there's low body fat under that. Yeah. This year, we could see exactly what the entire way. There was no edema on top of there. So, we had the opportunity to give him some higher carb days and stuff like that to really, keep his energy and his fullness high, and, keep his training intensity high. So it wasn't just like a pummel himself for 12 weeks straight kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too. Cause I mean, like, no matter what anyone says or believes, I mean, I can guarantee you that Chris used less anabolics for this show than anyone on the Olympia stage, even girls.
Dude, I don't doubt it.
It was so minimal. It was crazy.
He looks fresh. Like he looks very fresh. Like he doesn't look like he's chemicaled up. You know what I mean? Like,
No, we use almost no diuretics for him. We barely cut water. It was really a very, very easy kind of coast into the show,
Let me ask you this, and I'm probably going to ask him this when he's on, so I don't want to make this all about Chris, but I just want to ask you, do you put him through his posing a lot or no?
Yeah, we'll pose. We've been posing here like at least 3 to 4 times a day.
Because when he's on stage, there's people that purposely do things very slowly. Dexter walks out really slow and he poses very slow. Chris doesn't do it slowly, but he just looks very comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, he can hit those poses all day.
Like it doesn't look like he's struggling at all.
Posing up there for 2 hours and everyone else would be dead before Chris is breaking a sweater, like having a hard time posing.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And like he practices a lot without me there. And then when we've been here, usually I'll take a look at him. We'll run through at least one round of posing between each meal or every second meal for sure.
Mm-hmm. Does it help you stay on top of things when you are, you got a family member that's Mr. Olympia and like, you know what I mean? That environment you're in, does it help? Or are you just naturally just normally driven this way?
Yeah, I think, and this like almost sounds conceited, but I think it's the other way around. I think me helps everybody else, not them helping me.
Well, I don't mean, no. I don't mean like, I know you're helping them with the X's and O's and all that.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean like that way. I mean like my consistency and like the way I do everything to perfection, I think is more like the lead and not the follow, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I try and take that as, one as a big brother role and two as a coach role to kind of like lead by example.
Yeah.
And I think Chris, from all aspects really followed suit on that this year. I mean, his training was the best it's ever been. He was stricter with his diet than he's ever been. He was diligent with his cardio. He was diligent with his posing. I mean, really everything was 100% locked down. I mean, that was obviously demonstrated by, in my opinion, an extremely dominant performance this morning.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. One of the things I noticed was Breon was kind of on top of him the whole prejudging.
Yeah.
I
think that was panic.
I'm not going to say anything about it. I just noticed that he was very close to him at all times, which was very strange. But maybe that's what his strategy was, to be more aggressive. But going back to you guys, is there any times where you're, I don't want to say motivation, but you're a little bit maybe lagged from, you said you dieted for 50 weeks where you might lean on him or he might lean on you, or maybe lean on Melissa because she's also been there. Like, does that kind of thing happen? Or you just,
I think Melissa is kind of the one we all lean on for that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Melissa being his sister, my wife, and she has gone through some pretty like hard times with competing, like mentally and stuff like that. And I think she's really good at kind of keeping our heads on straight, and really knows what both of us are capable of as humans and athletes.
Yeah.
And that we're being any less than, what we can be. I think she really snaps our heads back on straight with it,
So she's the glue.
She's the glue. Yeah.
She's the glue.
I think so. I mean, obviously, for Chris, Chris having Courtney here too, I mean, has been big for him, helped to like really ease his stress with like doing the meals and, helping drive us around, stuff like that as well. So, I mean, it's definitely a team effort for sure, but Melissa plays, has multiple hats and multiple roles from kind of all different angles with both of us. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a plan for anything you're going to eat after, or you don't give a shit about food?
I just want to eat fucking McDonald's. I want to eat McDonald's breakfast sandwiches. I have for weeks. I just want the breakfast sandwiches. I want the couple breakfast sandwiches, and I want like a good McFlurry or something, and I'll be good.
Okay. All right, listen, I'm going to let you go. I know you got a big day. We're going to be doing a live commentary, so I hope you fucking kick ass, man. Oh, and then before you go, I want to publicly apologize for putting you in like, I think it was 9th or 10th.
10th.
It's the 10th. But I want to. This is why I hate this fucking job. So
for everyone listening to, I texted him this morning after, and I said,
"What the fuck?" You cut out for a second. Are you still there? Are you back? Okay, I'll tell the story really quick while he's gone. When I had Evan and Jay on the podcast, we were doing our top 10.
There we go.
Are you there? Okay, I'm just telling them the story. So we were doing our top 10 with Evan and Jay, and Evan and Jay had Iain in like 10th. So I was persuaded by two legends. But before but before they came on, in other predictions, I had you in 7-8, which is exactly where you are. So I should have stuck to my guns, and I didn't. So I'm just apologizing publicly.
You let the peer pressure get to you.
I let the. All right, Iain. Listen, go have fun, man. Kick ass tonight, and enjoy yourself.
Thanks, man.
All right, brother.
Thanks,
talk
man.
soon.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.